Hi, I'm Ellie from Tone Athletica.
And I'm Kayla of Kayla Lee Physio.
And we're here today to talk about motivation and mindset, basically. We run our own businesses. We are pretty active in terms of our training and physical life. And we have a bunch of different tips and hints that we hope will help you guys be, number one, more motivated, although we're going to kind of dismantle why that's a bit of a myth in a moment, but also more productive and successful in your training and professional lives.
Yep.
So Kayla, do you want to tell us a little bit about why we think kind of motivation is a bit of a myth?
Yeah, well, I think motivation is quite fickle, so it sort of comes in waves, and when the wave is high, you want to ride the wave, but when it's low, you can't really rely on it because then you'll just sort of sit on the couch and not hit your training session for that day. So I think building habits and being consistent is more important than actually relying on motivation. So the ways that you can do this is to create habit loops, and you're going to chat about habit loops.
Yeah, sure. So basically a habit loop is an ingrained behaviour which becomes part of our subconscious, so we do it without thinking. So it might be something as simple as brushing your teeth. A good example is whenever you're driving and you wake up and you're like, oh my God, how did I get here? It's generally because you've hit a habit loop and your brain just knows that road or that
automatic pilot.
Yeah, automatic pilot. We do this basically to conserve energy. It's a bit of an energy conserver. So, they do these experiments with mice and rats. They set them a set maze and they monitor their brain activity. The first few times they do the maze, they spend a lot of time trying to figure out what that maze is so they can get to their reward. But after a while, it becomes a habit and they get to know that maze, and by then they can see that the rats are on that autopilot and they're conserving a lot more energy. So essentially what we want to do when we create habits or successful habits which are going to help you get to where you want to be in any manner is create that habit loop so that you're doing it automatically and subconsciously. So for example, for us, going to the gym isn't really an effort, we just do it. We don't even think about it.
Yeah, so those days where you just don't feel like going, you just go anyway because you know you're going to feel better afterwards anyway. And it's
100%.
Yeah, and so there are three sort of main components of a habit loop. So first off is the cue. So what you do, for example, if going to the gym is the new habit you want to create, then what you do is you put out your clothes the night before, or you drive straight from work to the gym, some sort of cue that is going to lead into the routine that you want to make a habit. So the second one is the routine, and that's actually going to the gym or doing the habit that you are wanting to make a habit. And then the third one is a reward. So the reward sort of needs to be in line with the habit you're trying to create. So for example, if you went to the gym, maybe rewarding yourself with a sweet or ice cream or something like that isn't the best reward. Maybe something like the feeling you get after the gym, or the nice shower, warm or cold shower that you have after the gym is sort of that reward that creates that feedback loop that's going to help you want to do the habit in the future.
Yeah, 100%. And I think what you just said is really important, like aligning those rewards with the habit. Obviously, having ice cream after you're doing a workout, like it might work for some people, especially if you can get away with it. But for most people, it's not going to be in line with what those goals are. So certainly having some idea about what your goals are and then creating that habit loop feedback and reward is really, really important. So outside the gym, you have other habits that you want to create to improve your life. And this might be in terms of productivity for work or productivity for whatever uni degree that you're doing, any self-employed work that you might be doing, or even just a hobby. So how would you kind of go about creating those habits? We'll give like a bit of an example outside of just the gym.
Yeah, so for example, one habit that I really am starting to try and ingrain into my daily life is meditating first thing in the morning. So what I do first thing in the morning is I get up, I pop my headphones in, and then I find a quiet space and do 10 minutes of meditation, and then afterwards I feel really good about it, and that's creating that habit loop. Another example for work, say, is just putting my noise cancelling headphones on. So once those headphones go on and I'm listening to the music, then I know it's time to work. And then after, I feel really accomplished. Another one as well, and I'm sure this is one a lot of people can relate to, is once you get into the habit of sort of eating a food that maybe you shouldn't. So for example, I had a maybe a not so positive habit of wanting to eat something sweet after dinner. So instead of eating that sweet and then getting that rush that gives you that feedback for that not so positive habit that wasn't really contributing to my goals, I would instead, after dinner, go and brush my teeth straight away, and that sort of signaled the end of eating for the day.
Yeah, it's a really good one. One that we get a lot as well is, I guess in stressful times, people talking about drinking every night, and they really want to get rid of that habit, but they find it really, really hard. Similar type of thing, like I think what people are searching for in that time is just that like, end of the day, sign it off, like I'm gonna have a drink to like signify that. And just changing that drink, instead of like alcohol, you can do like tea or some sort of like, you know, just a fancy-ish drink. So you could have like mineral water and fruit, or just something that's interesting so that you feel like you have that time to kind of have to yourself and have that drink. I know some people might not say, oh, it's wine or whatever, but if you are feeling the effects of drinking every night, certainly that's just a great option, just to switch that. Instead of having that wine, you're keeping the same habit, but you're just switching what the alcohol is.
Yeah, like ice cream for yogurt and berries.
Yep. So it's the same habit loop, and you don't have to, it's much harder to change the habit loop than to change the actual middle part of the habit loop. Because as soon as you see that trigger, you feel like you want to go on that subconscious role. So I think that's really important as well, for sure.
Yeah,
cool.
Great.
Awesome.